right. Welcome to Gab and Jam, episode 253.
And what are we talking about today?
The question always is, should the number of fans and followers matter for the DIY rock star? And the reason why I hate to say it is because for the longest, I've been a completely deep art person and feels like, I should be able to do whatever I want and who cares and what difference does it make and if anybody likes it and all that, but then it's kind of counterintuitive. So we're going to talk about at least 5 reasons. There are way more, but at least 5 reasons why fans, followers, likes matter for the DIY rock star.
Right. Well, to me, the first thing you got to ask is why are you doing it? Yeah. I mean, if you're putting music out and you're releasing it and you're putting it up on sites and you don't want anybody to hear it or you don't care for anybody to hear it, why put it up?
Yeah.
That's
keep it in the closet.
Yeah, just do them in your basement or wherever you might do them. Keep them to yourself.
Yeah.
Keep them to, listen to them on your earbuds and, and hey, have a party. And that's all you got to do. But to the extent that you're actually putting the stuff up, you're actually trying to get it out there, that means, to me, that you want fans and followers.
Fans, followers, and likes, right?
That these are things that you want. You want feedback. I keep going back to that I don't care how you want to look at this, art, music, it's all part of a social construct.
I love it.
That I don't care how, deep of an artist you are.
Yes.
You want feedback on your art. You want your art
to have impact. And so that's one of our reasons. All right, so let's start at the top. The first one is, face it or not, whether you would like to face it or not, DIY Rockstar means that you are an entrepreneur. You are a business, but your business is selling your brand, your personality, your music, who you are. You want to resonate with fans. And let's be honest, making and sharing things costs money.
Right.
So to the extent that it costs money, it would be nice to make a little money, and part of the way you do that is by, again, sharing and pulling people in.
Yes. Yeah. And I think people always confuse 2 things. Like, they confuse being engaged in business and having commerce with your music to selling out.
Yeah.
That they conflate the 2 together.
Yes.
And to me, they're not the same thing.
Mm-hmm, right.
And so, for instance, you go to work every day.
Yes.
And, whether you choose what you're willing to do
yes.
for money.
Yes.
So you may say, okay, of the things, if I'm hard up for money, whether or not you're going to sell your body to make the money, or you're going to figure out another way to sell your time to make the money.
Right.
You make these choices.
Every
That's
day.
best to you.
Commerce-based choices. Yes.
They are. And I'm not going to look down on a person who decides that they want to do sex work.
Yeah.
If that's what's cool for you.
For you, right.
And that floats your boat.
Yeah.
Have at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because maybe for you, you're like saying, hey, look, if I had to go and work at a restaurant and do this, no way.
Right.
I'm going to do this.
Yeah, and I guess that's the thing, too, is that even if you say you're not making money to be able to make and share your music, you need money to live. You still need...
You do.
It costs money to live. To be an adult, and to live your life, it costs money. So
the question becomes, so how do you turn your art into commerce? Mm-hmm. So that's, at some point, once you do decide, okay, yes, I want to do this, I want to make money at doing this, but this stuff doesn't pay for itself.
Yeah.
I would prefer that some kind of way it does pay for itself is now trying to figure out a way to connect with your audience.
Yes.
In a way that doesn't severely compromise who you are.
Right. Your artistic vision. Right. I'm not saying go out and try to do a rap project when in your heart of hearts you're an R&B person. Whatever.
Right.
Right. So I'm not saying that. I'm saying figure out a way to share what it is that you do make. What
you do that's naturally. And understand that I said in a way that makes it where you don't severely compromise.
Yeah.
Because you will compromise.
Yeah.
that there are going to be times that maybe there's demands that your fans are making,
Yeah.
meaning it could be for a personal appearance or whatever else.
Yeah.
Maybe you've agreed to do it, and then on the day of, you don't feel like it,
Yeah.
but that's the compromise you have to make.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's going to be certain compromises, but again, you got to look at, when does it cross the line for you?
Yeah, and that's personal, so
Right.
we can't tell you that. We're just saying that is something to keep in mind. The second reason why the number of fans and followers matter is that you want to reach people. So we said things like impact. You want to impact people where they are feeling you, quote unquote,
Right.
and you'll know from that indication from the likes, shares, and followers and all that. Want feedback. So to get feedback from them, that is where you're going to have to, you get that through the likes, shares, follows, comments, all that good stuff. And then
Right.
finally, algorithm. You are going to want to reach people, and the more likes, follows, shares, all that you get, the more the algorithm, which we talked
Right.
about in the last video, the more the algorithm is going to favor you if you are getting that from your fans.
And I know feedback can be a catch-22 because, meaning that, you can get very negative feedback.
Yeah.
And so to the extent that you get negative feedback, that can be very discouraging.
Yeah.
So I do understand that aspect, and especially in the social media age that we're in, it's very easy for people to be cruel.
Yes.
Because people can hide behind their anonymity.
Yes.
And so understanding that aspect of it, that's also, I think it's one of the downsides to this.
Yeah.
And again, that's the thing you're going to have to weigh. Because, whether or not it's worth it.
Yeah, that's true. And you
because
don't have to. But I
Right.
guess ideally, the feedback that you would get would be from those people who have raised their hand and said, I kind of dig what you're doing. So,
Right.
so hopefully the feedback is going to be more helpful. But even if,
but
even
a lot
if
of
it's
times
not,
it might not
yeah,
be. A lot of
yeah.
times you're going to hear that the people, you may find that the people who are negative are a lot louder than the ones who are
Yeah.
positive. The
Yeah.
ones who are positive, they may be thinking it, but they might not say it.
Yeah, that's
And so, whereas the negative people, sometimes, they will be loud.
yeah.
And you don't know why they're doing it.
Yeah,
Because
which I always assume, we talk about that haters are your elevators.
Yeah.
Is that there's something within them that they're reacting viscerally to, probably a shortcoming on their side.
Right.
So if you need encouragement in that area, I'll go ahead and put the haters are your elevators
Right.
episode, because that will probably you might get that. You might
Yeah.
get a lot of that.
Yeah.
Some along the way as
Yeah.
you are pulling in the pools of people.
Yes.
You'll get those folks who want to tear you down. So
Yep.
yeah.
Who wants you to quit.
Yeah. Okay. But another reason why the number of fans and followers will matter for the DIY Rockstar is in a positive way. If you want to show progress, like how will you know if your hard work is paying off if
Yeah.
you're not seeing your creative empire grow?
Yeah.
So, and it feels really good. I know for us, it's been almost 6 years now.
Yeah.
And to see, even though we're having this this dance with YouTube, whether we hit 12,000 subscribers or not, it's like we keep going above and then below, above and then below, whatever. The whole point is, as it grows, it feels good to know that there are some people out there who are saying, hey, I like what you're doing, and I'm trying to show you by subscribing or sharing, or again, all of that.
Yeah, and it's tough though. Sometimes I'll admit that it is tough that sometimes you just don't get feedback.
Yeah.
That it just doesn't come. And it can be something huge for you.
Yeah.
To get it or have, someone, to kind of work with. Like I was just watching this documentary or short on like Sly Stone, and they were talking about like their first album. And their first album didn't do really well.
Oh.
And so, they had a record company person that believed in them, who was Clive Davis. And so, one thing that they started to do was work on, okay, how can we make what we're saying more commercial? And so that kind of gave way to songs like Dance to the Music. It gave way to things like everyday people, where he kind of just wrote things in almost like a nursery rhyme.
Yeah.
And
more of a universal sounding message.
Right. But, he still kept who he was, but he made the songs more relatable than what they were on the previous record. So sometimes just getting that type of feedback, if you do get it from your audience or from other people, to the extent that it's constructive, it can be very helpful and helping you to kind of hone your voice. In a way that it can actually be heard, So I do think that does go, it does help, and it's not you selling out by you kind of refining what you do. And making it more in a way where it's more laser focused. Prince had the same thing kind of happen, where he started to refine his voice to make it where, an audience could really grab it and understand it. And sometimes it helps you to get that feedback to get that, because it's not necessarily you, changing yourself as an artist. Just sometimes it could just be you condensing, your message, or just packaging your message a little bit differently so that it reaches the people you're looking to reach.
Okay, I love it. So that is another way. Of course, if that's what you're looking for, when you start getting that, then you'll know you're making progress, and it feels really good. It feels good to know that. And I know for a couple years, it seemed like we weren't reaching anybody. We were just putting it out.
Right.
And I'm saying to actually see, like, I know when we put the podcast up, within a couple days, the listens have, they creep up. And it's like, well, there were years before where we would put it out and it would be crickets. So I'm feeling good that it seems like things are growing. And so that's where fans, followers, likes, and all that stuff will matter, right? The fourth reason why the number of fans and followers matter for the DIY Rockstar is if you're using that data to leverage new opportunities. Because let's face it, people give to those who they believe already are successful, or at least moderately successful. So by being a well-liked artist who has gathered a tribe,
right?
Then for people who are interested in having you on shows or doing blog posts or putting you on playlists, they are, being for sponsorships, they are more likely to want to work with you if you already can show that you have some numbers, some activity from feedback from fans.
Yeah, and that's where feedback from fans helps. I mean, because again, sometimes just getting feedback from fans helps you to understand, what type of playlists do they even listen to?
Yeah.
What type of blogs do they read?
Yeah.
Where if there's this type of connection, then you start to understand more about, the people who you will more than likely reach with your music.
Yeah.
So that then you could start to, mine those particular fields.
Yeah.
For even more people who would find your music to be engaging for.
Yeah, as it is, right?
Right.
All right, and then finally, and again, the list could go on and on, but the last reason we're going to list for why the number of fans and followers matter for the DIY Rockstar is it is an indication, even for your fans, that you are hustling. There's nothing worse, and I'm going to say it as a fan of music, to go to somebody's website or go to somebody's social media and there's like nothing happening. There's just one post of them, pumping their show or pumping their record, and there's no, hey, these are the things we've been doing, or hey, here's behind the scenes, or hey. So again, probably more people engaging with them makes them more encouraged, more motivated to share more. I know that's the way it is for us.
Yeah, and I know sometimes that can depend on the type of artist you are. So meaning that if you're a person or if you're a group and you're doing a lot of live shows, you may not rely on social media and all the rest of this web stuff as much as, artists who aren't do.
Yeah.
So I can understand that. So meaning that you are doing things the old-fashioned way.
Right.
Because a long time ago, all we had was word of mouth.
Yes.
You kind of went from town to town. You played your music, and you would get this following, right?
Yeah.
And you may be one of those acts that get it that way.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's the way you aspire to do it.
Yeah.
And if that's the way you aspire to do it, good on you.
Yeah.
But it's if not, if you don't have that, then it's kind of difficult to do that in this day and age without, having just a presence and a consistent presence, on the web or some
and even
site
they
or
can
whatever.
work together to two things. One, I know we need to do a whole nother episode about email, having your email list, because if you're doing live shows,
Yeah.
you should be collecting email lists so that you can let people know
Right.
when you're coming to town the next time or whatever else, so that you can communicate with them directly.
Yeah.
But then also, those two can work together, social media. So hopefully you'll have someone who can take a few clips of your live shows and maybe put those up at least every now and again, or just something. Hey, we're on the road, couple clips in the van. Again, not saying that you have to be 24/7 posting everything you eat and all that,
Right.
but
Yeah.
that there can be activity that can
Yeah.
be natural to what you're already doing.
Right,
And that
yeah.
you could just take a piece of that and put that up, and it shows activity. And I'm going to use the quote that I came up with, which I'm really kind of excited about. We're all no one until we're someone.
Yeah.
But the whole fact is that if you plan to grow, when you start from zero, by doing what you do as far as on social media or on your own website or selling records, you need to, I guess, get some interest, stirred up in people
Yeah.
for you. And I guess that is kind of the key, right? That whatever you're doing, if you're putting it out there, you're expecting to draw somebody in. That is the cultural connection that you can make with whatever you do naturally. Not saying do anything that you don't want to do. Do the things that you do, but you're trying to draw people in to say, hey, I like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? What is yet another reason why it might be nice to have some fans and followers? Maybe we didn't list something that's important to you.
Right.
Put it in the comments below. And what else?
Sugar Fit. So you can stream it everywhere. If you want to get the CD, you can get it from CD Baby. You can get it from Bandcamp. And then we also have
Ringtones. We have ringtones for all 15 songs on Sugar Fit. So if you would like to have one of those funky ringtones, click the link below. And if you dig the vibe and you want to be a part of the tribe, be sure to
subscribe.
wishing you love, peace, and
Chicken grease.